Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews. We're looking at two very interesting products today. This is the Devolo dLan 1200 Plus kit. We have one model which is just a dLan gigabit power line thing. Then we also have one with integrated AC Wi-Fi. Let's see if it's any good and also tell you guys why you would want one and what scenario it's probably a good idea to buy these. So what I have here is the starter kit. It has one normal dLan, one with the AC Wi-Fi included. Devolo makes some very bold claims about Wi-Fi anywhere, finally all problems solved. They're basically claiming to be the Jesus of networking or something, I don't know. We're going to start with a quick physical overview first. So the smallest of the two is this guy right here. This is just the dLan 1200 Plus without the Wi-Fi. It's a reversible socket. This is a European standard. You probably get the right standard if you buy it in the right country. With a pass-through, very handy to have this pass-through thing. Other than that, nothing to it. A little button here on the side for using the protected setup when you use protection on these things. You should always use protection kits. There's a little LED light here, so you know that it's working. And then there's a gigabit Ethernet port in the bottom. Then there's also the bigger guy. This one is actually, as you can see, pretty huge. Also pretty heavy. This is the 1200 Plus Wi-Fi AC model, which basically means it has a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. And a bunch of cool technologies that I'll talk about later. Again, reversible connector, but now on the back you also get the Wi-Fi key for the standard network name. Little dLan button so you can see if it's working, and it also makes it easy to activate or deactivate it, as well as the WPS Wi-Fi light. Then on the bottom of this guy we actually have two gigabit Ethernet ports, very handy. There is no button on this one though for the protected setup stuff. But other than that, you know, looks very good. Has the pass-through, very easy. These pass-throughs can handle 3500 watts, so unless if you're hooking up an oven and a fryer at the same time, it shouldn't be a problem. So let's talk a little bit about the setup. It's incredibly easy to set up these guys. You basically just plug them in, make sure one of them has Ethernet access, the other one will work as a hotspot, or you get Ethernet access out of the other dLan port. You have to make sure that they are on the same electrical network, which is of course the only way they can possibly work, because you have to kind of think about these as a reverse access point. So the access point will have power over Ethernet. These are basically Ethernet over power. So as long as you're connected to the mains in your house, you have Ethernet and even Wi-Fi with the Wi-Fi model. Now to configure these, you can use the Devolo Cockpit app, but that app will basically just send you to the web interface, so no point in downloading it. The web interface, very easy to use, it's quite responsive, I kind of like it. Maybe they should have gone with less sub-menus and just put everything in a single page. Would be a bit faster to work with, but overall, very, very good interface. A lot of setup stuff. You can create for the Wi-Fi one, guest networks with timers so they time out automatically, which is very, very handy to have when you're having friends over and you don't want an unprotected network for the rest of your life so that your neighbors can access your files and stuff. Now, one little problem that I have, and this may be down to my ISP and the modem/router that I'm forced to use, but it did take out my entire network when I put these in the wall. So you want to make sure you just set up a local network without access to your main router first, and then go into these things, disable DHCP and put them on the right network with the right IP address, or everything will be broken. Now before I move on to performance, I want to talk a little bit about the price of these things. It is incredibly pricey. You're spending 120 on the Wi-Fi model, and if I can find this one, yeah, this one's 70. So if you're just going with power LAN itself, the dLan stuff, 1200 plus is 70 euros each. So you can figure out how many of these are you going to use. If you want to put Wi-Fi in every single room like they advertise, 120 euros per room. So not quite the cheapest approach in my opinion, but the performance is there because that's where I wanted to get to. The dLan performance is very good. It's a 1200 Plus model, that's not duplex, so basically it's 600 up, 600 down. Still pretty respectable performance given that it has to send all that data over 2 or 3 wires if you count the ground, compared to an Ethernet cable has 8 wires inside. So performance really good, doesn't add any latency at all, maybe 1 millisecond, but nothing I can measure. Talking about the Wi-Fi aspect though, it's not that impressive. The performance was all over the place. So while just the dLan bit works very well and it's perfectly stable. The Wi-Fi was just this jigsaw of transfer speeds. We would get maximums of 40 megabytes a second, and then it would fall down to 5 again, and not very handy, the Wi-Fi bit in there. So I wouldn't actually recommend buying the Wi-Fi AC model. And while I said that the wired performance or the dLan performance is very good, it's still nothing compared to a gigabit wired network, and it even loses out to, if I can find it, this guy right here in combination with proper Wi-Fi router, which will also set you back about the same amount. So the reason I would buy this would be if you're loaning a house, you're renting one, you're not allowed to drill holes for Ethernet cables, and it is like a concrete house, so the Wi-Fi is rubbish. That's then a perfect use scenario for one of these. But if you have, like me, a wooden house that you own, you can do whatever you want. Just get, gigabit Ethernet lines everywhere and use Wi-Fi for your wireless devices. So guys, if you like this video, press that like button. If you didn't like this video, there's always a dislike button, but please don't press that one. I don't like it when people press that one. Subscribe to Unicorn Reviews, and if you want to follow me even more or support the channel, there are links in the description below. For now, thank you very much for watching. Cheers!